What's a video game that will forever be in your heart no matter what age you reach? Oh, I have a list, in no particular order. Klonoa all console titles, barring Beach Volleyball. Paper Mario first 3 titles. Super Mario Galaxy both titles. Mario Party 7 and 8. Ori both titles. Super Mario All-Stars. Zelda series. Touhou series. Kirby Return to Dreamland and Forgotten Land. Professor Layton series. One Shot. Pokémon Mystery Dungeon series. Okami. Okamiden. Trauma Cinder series except maybe New Blood. Persona 4 and 5 I'm gonna get 3 Reloaded. Copy Kitty. And that's all I can think of right now. Yeah, the list is incomplete. Little Big Adventure 2. I was browsing a tech store that had an aisle for games. The box piqued my interest so I turned it over and started reading. I took a chance on it knowing nothing about the game aside from the text on the box. I still maintain that it's the best adventure game I've played and I love Grim Fandango and The Longest Journey. I can still hear the score. I can still remember the characters and locations. The graphics are dated, sure, but I haven't felt the same way about any other game since in World of Warcraft. It consumed so many hours of my 20s. I've got memories of so many raids and our late night conversations. There was drama and romance. 2 of my guild mates got married. One of them faked his own death and pretended to be his own son and got caught and admitted to it all. Some of them actually grew up in our guild. The game itself was great, but the social aspect made it an amazing time. Prince of Persia: Warrior Within. It wasn't my first game that I ever played, but for some reason, that was my first gaming experience with that sort of difficulty and multiple endings. I put in so many hours, particularly in getting to see the ending where we fight the Dahaka. There are still only a few games that bring back the feeling of dread that you have while being chased by the Dahaka. If I'm being completely honest, it's Fortnite. I remember the good old days when I used to play it with my friends. It's been almost 6 years now. I started playing it summer 2018 and it makes me sad to think about what a great time it was. It's more about the memories and the people I played it with than the game mechanics, etc. Minecraft. First game I ever remember playing to any major degree, though as time has passed I've found myself being drawn away from it more and more. Sure, I still hop on every few months, just to see what's new. Maybe try to make an idea I had work. But to me it just doesn't have that same draw it had before. Metroid NES. Castlevania 2 NES. Super Mario Bros. 2 NES. Legend of Zelda NES. Zelda 2 Adventures of Link NES. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 Sega Genesis. Kid Chameleon Sega Genesis. Echo the Dolphin Sega Genesis. Super Mario World Super Nintendo. Zelda Link to the Past Super Nintendo. Pokémon Gold. Aside from a few simple educational computer games, it was my first real video game. It blew my little kid mind all those years ago, and I enjoyed returning to the game via Pokémon Heart Gold several years ago. I know that it has its flaws, but it has so many fond memories for me. Haven't played it in years, but Tenchu Wrath of Heaven ninja game for the PS2. It was one of the first games that got me into gaming. It had a wide array of weapons you could bring for your missions, and the enemies per level were diverse. Hours of nostalgia. RuneScape. The Port Sarim OST still has a special place in my heart. I remember those good old days when I'd fish lobsters in Karamja and see how long it will take for me to get reported for offensive language. Early 2000s gaming raffle. As a 90s kid from Brazil, the country was basically a Sega country, and both games that marked our generation was Alex Kidd and Miracle World early 90s from Master System and Sonic either from Master System or Mega Drive Genesis. Vanilla World of Warcraft. Played it since it came out and I still play WoW to this day. The game is so much better than it was back in 2005 era, but I always get a warm fuzzy feeling in my heart whenever I think of vanilla WoW. Minecraft, not playing it anymore but seeing the Hermitcraft server on YouTube, and now the minigame decked out that Tango Build and Survival makes me happy every time I watch a video from one of those guys. Star Wars Battlefront 2 2005 Classic. I have fond memories of playing it with my dad around 10 or 11 years ago. It strikes joy in my heart each time I boot it up and play. Tenchu Wrath of Heaven. I've been waiting for them to remake this game for fucking years now. Anyone can suggest a similar game for Xbox, it'd be appreciated. Thumbs up. Old School RuneScape. Return to Castle Wolfenstein Multiplayer. RTCW Enemy Territory. Mew Online. Silk Road MMO. Fly for Fun Fly FF. MapleStory. Drift City. Life is Strange in its prequel Before the Storm. Something about this game changed the way I view life forever and took me out of a really bad depression. Dragon Age Origins. Anytime I felt the depression was getting me down, I'd fire the game up, and by the time I beat it, I'd be in a better place mentally. Jesus, too many. But here are my picks. Suikoden. Suikoden 2. Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9. Project Horndau. Xenogears. Vagrant Story. And many more. The very first video game I ever played was The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I was 4 years old when I first played it, and I'll always love it. Chrono Cross. Such a beautiful underrated gem. I remember playing it for the first time and being in awe. I loved every second of that game. Mega Man 6. Discovering how to get Russian beat. Finding the hidden paths for different armor. Played the shit out of that game on the NES. Pong. Still remember playing it on an Atari at my granddad's in the early 80s. It wasn't a great game, but I'll have that memory forever. Conker's Bad Fur Day on the N64. That game introduced me to adult humor as a kid, and probably explains a lot about me as a person today. Nintendo 64 GoldenEye. One of my earliest memories was me playing this game with cheat codes on it. Still one of my favorite games. Gothic 2. Basically unknown outside of Europe, but for a good reason. There is a huge fanbase still after more than 20 years. Contra. Up down down left right be a start. I played that game so much I could win without the cheat code eventually. Kingdom Hearts. Even though the franchise has been on some bullshit for years now, the first one will always be special to me. Crash Bandicoot for the PS1, Spyro for Dreamcast, Rayman Rush for PS2, Crying Face, brings back some of the earliest memories of my life. Original Need for Speed Most Wanted was the first bigger PC game I played, back then on the family's shared computer. Ultima 7. It remains one of the greatest games I've played, and I still play Exalt occasionally. It still stacks up emo. Red Dead Redemption 2. It made me feel things I've never felt during a video game before, and I'll never forget that. Subnautica. Leviathans, Deep Blue Expanse, Unfathomable Depths of an Ocean, Exotic Marine Life, and The Solitude. The Sims, Sonic, Crash Bandicoot, Final Fantasy, Tomb Raider, Spyro, Tony Hawk Pro Skater. I Can't Stop. The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, Knights of the Old Republic, StarCraft, and Jet Set Radio Future. Chrono Cross and Final Fantasy 8 and 9. Spent days and months playing these when I was a kid. There are 4. Star Fox 64. Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. The Sims First 1, Roller Coaster Tycoon First 1, Animal Crossing Wild World, and Skyrim. Total Annihilation. Played it for the first time in '97, and I'm still playing that RDS today. GoldenEye, that N64 shit. Prefect Dark Toll. Been years, but man, that made my childhood cool. This thread has made me smile after a ridiculously hard week emotionally. Thank you everyone. Smiling face with hearts. Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I played the game religiously and I loved every second of it. I become 10 again when I hear any route or town theme from Pokémon Red, Blue and Yellow. Alex Kidd in Miracle World. Sega Master System. 2. Gosh, that game took me places. Hard. Mega Man 3. Just listen to this banger. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Thank you for teaching me about the world. Oblivion. Fallout New Vegas. Fallout 4 Skyrim. Mass Effect Trilogy. Halo. StarCraft and StarCraft Brood Wars expansion. I still require more Vespene gas. I feel like To the Moon will be in my heart more and more as I get older. Command & Conquer Red Alert 2. Best in the entire series in my opinion. Mike Tyson's Punch-Out! Double Dragon 2. WWF No Mercy. There's too many. Has anyone said Minecraft yet, or is everyone here too old for that? The Last of Us. Played thrice and it's going to live forever with me. Plants vs Zombies. Brought the whole fam together playing it.